Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden coming to you from the old stage road in Woodford, Vermont, where it is 95% humidity and 66 degrees. Wonderful day to be out exploring the woods. And today I want to talk about motivation, or getting out of a sense of stuckness, where you feel that you should be doing something, you should be engaging in physical activity, you should be engaging in some kind of project that's going to move your life forward, that there's something that you need to do, and you find yourself unable to take a step. Either you lack motivation, or you simply don't know what to do. Like, which step should I take? Which project should I work on? So I want to break that down and hopefully give you a little bit of access into motion. There's a Buddhist saying that goes, in the beginning, nothing comes. In the middle, nothing stays, and at the end, nothing goes. And how that relates to this idea of being stuck or needing to find motivation is that we have different aspects of being. We have multiple selves in the form of neural networks in our brain. And if you've ever been to a psychotherapist that practices ego state therapy, you'll be well aware of this, where they'll have one version of yourself communicating with another different version of yourself, one with different needs, different desires, different goals, different likes, and different levels of energy or different gas tanks. So this Buddhist saying, let's talk about the first part. In the beginning, nothing comes. And the way that I see this is that there's an aspect of us, there's one of ourselves in that particular moment of stuckness. And it has a want, it has a need, it has an uncomfortable feeling, which is really what a want or a need is. The brain and body compel us to go after something that is going to put us in a state of homeostasis. It's going to balance us out. So it creates these urges, these needs. Like right now, I'm needing not to fall in this gigantic mud puddle that I'm navigating around. I desire not to be more wet than I already am. So when we have this desire to change, this desire to engage, it's because there's a feeling of lack. There's a feeling that something is missing, that something needs to change, and it's uncomfortable. That's what a want is. This relates to something in psychology called liking versus wanting, where we have different circuitry in the brain that likes things, and then a different set of circuitry or networks that want things. They have different chemical messengers or mediators, modulators, and they have different networks. They serve a different purpose. So when we're in a state of wanting, we're generally not in a state of liking, because in order to like something, your needs have to be met. So the more that we desire something, the more that we feel something needs to change, the more that we have that feeling of, oh, I gotta do something, I can't take this anymore, the less that liking circuitry is going to be engaged, to the point where it's not going to be engaged at all. And you find yourself in a moment that you don't like. I don't like this moment. I don't like this feeling. I don't like my identity. I don't like my rank or my place in the world. And because you don't like any of these things, in the beginning, nothing comes. Because you're not going to be present to what is in your environment. You're not going to be present to what's available to you right now to work with, because your brain and body are telling you this isn't it. If this were it, I wouldn't be filled with desire, I wouldn't be filled with need, I wouldn't be filled with this urge to change. I have to go get something. And that's what the chemical dopamine is all about. A lot of people think that dopamine is about pleasure, but it's really the chemical driver of desire. So in the beginning, nothing comes, because if we're in this state of wanting, I want to do something, I want to get out and exercise, then we're not going to engage, because we don't accept or allow the moment to show up as it is. We don't allow our body to show up as it is. It's got to be different than this. I need motivation. So that's the motivation trap, waiting for something to come in the beginning. Like, I will run when I feel like running, when I'm motivated. Somebody please help me, motivate me. Make a YouTube video that gets me out the door, that pumps me up and fills me with like. So the trick in the beginning, in that first step, is to engage the liking circuitry and turn off the wanting circuitry. Now, when somebody wants to go for a run, they're really using that term inappropriately. Now, want means to lack. So what you are really saying is, I'm excited to run. I have this feeling in me that running is amazing and I'm just going to go do it. So that's liking, that's not wanting. And it's important to understand the difference. So if we go one level deeper into this Buddhist statement that in the middle, nothing stays, what we're talking about here is the process. Okay, I'm engaged. I found motivation. I got myself out the door. I called up a coach or went to a boot camp or a class. And here I am. I'm in the middle of it, but I just really don't like this. I want the change. I want the result, but this process thing is not fun. Because again, the self, the part of you that wants to engage in this, is stuck in this idea that what is not okay. So there's still this want. And you're not giving yourself the opportunity to like what's happening. Like right now, I'm in the middle of a so-called workout, but I'm walking through the woods. And before I ran up the mountain, I started by walking. And then after walking a couple hundred meters, I just took a running step, checked in. Yeah, that feels fine. And I kept running, ran to the top of the mountain, and now I'm walking along the top, and eventually I'll run back down when I'm done recording. So I'm in the middle of the process. But if I have this image, if I have this self that says, I must be this, I must be a certain type of athlete at a certain level, I must be an elite athlete, I must win another national championship, I must have a certain body, that's important in the world. It's important for me to represent this particular rank in the world, or I don't know how to feel. Who am I if I'm not super fit? So if I approach this as a workout and with that measurement, then I'm not going to like it, because there's this constant need, this constant desire, this constant measurement. Am I there yet? Am I there yet? So in the middle, nothing stays, because you're not really there. You're still wanting. So again, we have to move into the circuitry of liking, saying, okay, I'm out the door, and now, wow, it's a gorgeous day. It's this smoky, steamy fog that I'm walking through on the top of a mountain, and it's humid, but it's cool, and it just feels like I'm in the jungle, and it's awesome. So I'm here, and it's staying, not because I'm clinging to it, but because I'm allowing it to soak into me. I'm allowing this to be the moment. There doesn't need to be a better moment at the end. I've finished the workout. Now I can put it up on Strava, and now it suddenly has value. Well, it has value right here. So having things stay is not about clinging to them, not about holding on to them, but allowing yourself to fall into the process. So finally, the last part of this Buddhist statement, at the end, nothing goes. That means that there is no finality. There is no happily ever after. There is no, well, I did the thing. I wrote the blog post that got 1 million views. I won the national championship. I lost the weight. And now I can live happily ever after. But that's not how it works in real life. Maybe that's how it works in storybooks, but they're just fantasy. They're not real. It'd be great if we learned about real life stories, the way reality works in school as children, if they set us up to deal with life as it was, rather than pretending that life is just too harsh for a child to tolerate. So we set ourselves up to believe that there's going to be a happily ever after, that there's a finish line, that once we cross it, once we achieve that goal, that everything changes. But it doesn't, because you're still coming from that place of wanting, not liking. So the thing that doesn't go, as the Buddhists say, in the end nothing goes, is you. You don't go. You don't disappear. You're still there. And I figured this out when I won my first national championship. I crossed the finish line. It was amazing, and I was crying and da-da-da-da. But then a couple hours later, I got to take a shower. I'm sore. I'm tired. I got to hurry up and get to the airport and sit on a plane for 5 hours. And my life just was back. And maybe I could put this up on social media, and maybe people would be excited. But how long is that going to last? And then that quickly fades because people have short attention spans, and here I am again. Well, now what? Well, I guess I better go back and train my butt off and win another one. Still the same guy. Nothing goes. I'm still here. And here only becomes valuable if I don't have that guy in the driver's seat. If I don't have that identity, the needing identity, the identity that needs change, the identity that can't tolerate things, the identity that says this is not enough, this is not okay. If I live as that version of me, I'll never be happy, I'll never be satisfied, and I will be stuck with myself. So what's the solution? To take a step outside of desire, to take a step outside of need, to discover the moment, to see what's there, to say, I don't know what's going to happen. Let me take a step and see what shows up. Let me see how I change in the midst of these steps, because I guarantee you, you will. Okay? So take a step. It doesn't matter what it is. Be curious. Allow yourself to be open. Don't worry about trying to change the world, because the only thing that really needs to change is who's in the driver's seat. And you do that by moving outside of need, by moving outside of expectation, and by allowing the moment to be what it is, and to be curious and to say, hey, what's that? Okay? I hope that helps. Please let me know in the comments below how you're doing, what you do to get yourself out and into movement. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe and make sure to click the bell. And as always, come on over to Patreon if you want to keep me in this game, because it ain't easy. All right, I'll see you soon.